Now, I understand Minister Sharp relied upon a process where she invited submissions. So there were about 11,000 submissions on the asking people of their view in relation to whether the ban should be overturned. Are you, or was any data provided to you in relation to those submissions on how many were actually from the local community? She's relying on the fact that 82% of those submissions supported the overturn of the ban. I suspect that the vast majority of those submissions didn't come from your electorate, Monaro. Were you given copies of those submissions?
No, and I haven't seen a breakdown of the levels of support for those submissions and where they came from. You'd be wrong in thinking, though, that there isn't support for this change in the Monaro electorate. There is a lot of people who really value the park. I
imagine there'd be both, right? So you've obviously
there is. There's obviously both.
It's a very polarising issue.
It is, and I think one of the things that I thought was important in making my public position clear on this was not to do what a lot of my predecessors have done, which is just sit on the fence and not actually take a position. I felt it was important.
You took that position before the election, is that right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. You made it very clear. You sent out pamphlets. Everybody.
Well, I was pre-selected. No,
shooting.
I was pre-selected. 4 weeks before the election, so I didn't send out.
I'm sure you had plenty of time.
I didn't send out a lot of pamphlets, but you can ask me about the previous candidate if you want.
I'm asking the questions, Minister, not Mr. Fang. Can I just go back to, so you've had stakeholder and community meetings since then, right? There have been a series of meetings with the community, inviting them.
The minister had the consultation process, which was open to anybody participating. I've met with a number of groups.
How many consultations were there in your electorate once she opened this?
It was submissions. It was submissions.
Only submissions. There wasn't any actual. As I know,
meetings? The minister has met with a number of people. You probably should ask her about the process in this.
We will.
My portfolio.
But it's your electorate, so I'm wondering whether you asked her to hold some community meetings in your electorate over this issue.
I made it very clear to her that I supported a change to the.
But you didn't want to consult with your electorate, Minister, is that right? You didn't ask her to come down to a community town hall meeting and have a discussion.
Funny thing is, I've lived in the electorate for 26 years. I've been an active user of the Kosciuszko National Park for more than that time. I've been in touch with the communities around Jindabyne in great depth. I've been in touch with the National Park staff, with a lot of the supporters.
Lots of school children are going to go through those parks too, is that right? Lots of school kids?
Have the
schools been notified of the dates?
Is it really... Well, I'll go into the process for you because what will happen is that if aerial shooting is to be undertaken in a section of the park, that section of the park will be closed.
From the 6th to the 10th is already scheduled.
And there is already shooting going on. In fact, my understanding is around about 1,000 brumbies have been culled over the last
And what's happened to the carcasses? Do you know?
The carcasses, the scientific advice is that carcasses should be allowed to decompose in place, and they actually add to the biodiversity of the area. What
do you do with all the school children that go through the park?
Let me answer the question. I know it's easy from Sydney to think that you know about the Kosciuszko National Park.
That was why you lost the seat last time.
Chair, I think that's what a ridiculous comment from someone who knows perfectly well, because she was in the Labor Party caucus at the time, how much time I spend in the Monaro electorate. And I guess that's probably that's probably the reason why I won the last election, because people actually did want a local member who knew about their issues and listened to them.
What are you saying about your candidate?
So it's really it's an interesting line of question. But let me come back to it.
Okay.
Scientific evidence suggests
that the carcasses lying around the Kosciuszko National Park and the fact that children are allowed to access the park. So tell me something,
what's the difference between...
I'm asking you a question. You don't ask me questions, Minister.
Okay, well, I'll give you my... So we already aerially shoot deer, wild pigs. We have unfortunately, a lot of kangaroo carcasses which are around the roads in the electorate, particularly at the moment. We have wild dogs which are also aerially shot. Those carcasses lie in place. And they decompose in place.
Now. There are specific
so now we will have guidelines that go with this about moving carcasses from close to walking tracks, campgrounds, and rivers, and that's consistent with the scientific advice, is my understanding. I'd suggest that for more detail on scientific advice, that Minister Sharp is probably the person to talk to about it. But from the information that I have. And I have read some of the scientific studies, the carcasses rotting in place is actually better for the environment. They will decompose
for
over.
children as well as
They
they
will.
walk through the
They will
park?
decompose over around 3 months. Now, look, let's be really clear about it. Slaughtering any animal, eradicating any pest species is not pretty. It's not a very nice sight. There will be nasty smells. There will be photos which will circulate on the internet which aren't good. But were we to let the
could put it in your next
brumbies just continue to multiply, then we risk massive damage to the values which we created the national park to protect. We created the Kosciuszko National Park to protect the alpine waterways. They're being trampled. If you actually go there, you will see it for yourself. Rather than having stream banks which are vegetated and protected, where small animals can get protection, we have these muddy expanses.
Minister,
now, and we also have a lot of vulnerable native species in the area which are damaged.
That's not specifically what I'm asking you, but
I do think that.
I'll leave it at that.
I do think that it's very easy to.
I only asked you
Okay.
what type of stakeholder community meetings you have held with the minister in your electorate since she has.
Well, I
announced
think
that she
you
intended
made a number of
to
other statements
overturn-
about school children, so I think
well,
I
no,
was
I
within
do
my
think there's
rights
a-
to actually
Well,
answer
Right, you did.
I asked you about the carcasses that are lying around the Kosciuszko
Yeah, and
National
the
Park.
school
Have
children.
any
How the
school
school
no,
children
Order.
concerns have been
Don't
raised.
interrupt.
Concerns
Order.
have been raised because that's why I'm aware of this issue, because concerns have been raised to me about
Yeah.
school children
Well, ask him
accessing
about
the
that.
national park. And the fact that these carcasses aren't going to be removed anytime soon. So,
Well, fortunately,
you've given me
and if you let me
whole,
respond to that,
answer about,
fortunately,
the history of the park, which is lovely.
if we
I
take
can look
action,
it up on
if we
Wikipedia.
take complete action now, and we bring the brumbies down to a level which is manageable in the park, 3,000 is what was set in the previous government's legislation, and it obliged our government to get the levels down
Have
to
you
that
spoken
in
with your schools
2027.
and your electorate? Have you given them notification about this issue? You've got a note there. Maybe you can read it. Have you spoken to the schools there?
Look, it's totally unnecessary to speak to the schools
But they
about
use
this.
and utilise the park.
All park users, regardless of their age, will be told the park will be closed when aerial shooting is underway in those areas.